Hi guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back again for another stream. I know this one's a bit unannounced. We didn't schedule the stream, so hopefully you guys catch it on time. If not, we'll watch it afterwards. But we thought we'd go live very quickly, last minute, just to discuss the price reveals of the final teams. Final five teams dropped today, so I thought I'd do a video. Sorry guys if the quality isn't great, the audio, because I'm using AirPods. So I'm hoping the quality is good, and I'll be back to my normal setting for the next video. But for now, this will probably do. But yeah, we're going to talk about the teams that dropped. But before we do, how are you, Jordan? Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's good, thank you. Bit of a rush today to get things done and sorted for this last player price selection, I guess. But we have made it, and we're here.
Yeah.
So
I just want this game to drop now, man. Honestly, this game.
yeah,
Like today's prices, the price reveals. Other than Spurs, I wasn't really interested in any of the prices. But I thought, you know what? It's over now. Tomorrow, hopefully, the game launches, and we can start making our drafts. But got some comments here. Let me quickly read out. Got FPL Penguin. He says, "Hey lads, hopefully tomorrow is the big day." Yep, hopefully the game does come out tomorrow, and we can get started on our teams. Brian also in the chat. Shout out to him. He says, "Hi lads," and never give up FPL. Also in the chat says, "Jordan, you got your mug."
not today, unfortunately. Never go with FPL.
Wait,
Maybe next time.
What mug are they on about? Because
Oh, it's a Stewie Griffin mug. It has
I missed it.
he has his face on it with "Victory is mine" in
Yeah.
writing next to it. My favourite mug.
See. Oh, okay, cool.
I see it's got some plans.
You need to show me the mug. I haven't seen your mug, so let me see it.
Next stream. Next stream, I'll show you guys the mug again. And also
we've got FPL River in here. He says, "Evening, guys, looking sharp past." Thank you. I had a little event I had to attend, so I literally come out of that to do this stream for you guys in the car. That's the dedication I put in for you guys. But yeah. Rich Melvin says, "Hi lads, let's get into it." Yep, let's get into this. First team to drop, as we know, is Spurs. Probably the most exciting team of today. Let's talk about the big talking points. That is Son and Kane. Harry Kane is priced at 11.5, which I actually predicted that he'd be 11.5, and Son 12 million, which we both said he'd be 12 because after De Bruyne was 12 million, we thought, Son 200 points again, he'd probably be 12 mil. So yeah, let us know, guys. Have FPL killed off Son as well? Because now Kane is 0.5 cheaper. Is there any point of going for Son if you had to pick between the two? In my opinion, I don't know if Son is a realistic option for most FPL managers. I think Kane, yeah, there's a way we could fit him in. If you're not getting Haaland, you could get Kane. I've seen some people now, even me, considering starting with Kane game week 1 against Southampton, and then dropping Kane in that Chelsea game, and then getting Haaland in. But let us know what you guys think of that. But yeah, let's look at the fixtures. They start the season at home to Southampton. Very good fixture, I'd say. Then they got Chelsea, Wolves, Forest, and West Ham. So it does get a bit tough. But I really do like that Southampton fixture. Sorry, and let's be real, Harry Kane or Son could get 2 or 3 goals against Southampton, and you wouldn't be surprised, would you, Jordan?
No, I wouldn't be surprised with Kane starting off with a massive bang like Fernandes did last season, first match that he had. Possibly a hat-trick from Kane, you never know, against Southampton. They have been really poor in the last season. Like, we saw they weren't in a great state at all.
Yeah, that is the worry for me, to be honest. Like, my worry is that if I go without Harry Kane and he bags a hat-trick, or Son bags a hat-trick against Southampton, because Southampton ended the season a bit iffy, and they've not done much business over the summer, I don't believe. So I'm not sure where Southampton are, and Spurs, Spurs have done a lot of signings, a lot of good signings. They bought Richarlison, they bought Perisic, who we're going to come on to. They bought Richarlison as well. They look like they're building a good team now. Plus, they got Conte full season and a pre-season under their belt of these players. I think Spurs could hit the ground running against Southampton. But yeah, if you had to pick Kane or Son, do you see anyone ever going with Son with that 0.5 extra?
I do think some people will go for Son, but they have to sacrifice someone else to get him. Possibly maybe Salah or Haaland or maybe even Diaz. You can't have three premiums, unfortunately. You would really have to have no playing bench to have Son, Salah and Haaland in your team. Because I've personally tried it and it's very hard, especially with Son being 12 mil. I was kind of hoping it would be 11.5, but with him being 12 mil, that just makes it even more harder. And unfortunately, Son probably won't be featured in my team because of that.
Yeah, I think Son for me is probably a no-go, especially for game week 1, even though I do think he's... The funny thing is, Son might be a differential. It's mad to say. He actually... I don't know what his ownership's going to be. I don't think it'll be high. Because obviously, most teams I've seen have got Salah in, pretty much, and then Haaland. Now, Son v Haaland is a decent debate because Son is obviously proven in the Premier League, if that matters to you or not. He scores a lot of goals. Haaland's coming into the league, new. I know he's a top striker, but I'm surprised to see a lot of people just Haaland and that's it. There's no debate with Son, but I think people are sleeping on Son. Is it crazy to include Son over Haaland? Do you reckon? Because Son has done it time and time, season after season, and Haaland is still, whether how good he is, he still hasn't played in the Prem yet, and we don't know how he's going to play with Man City. Yes, he'll probably come smash up anyway, but there is that debate because Son is kind of, proven.
Yeah, I agree. Haaland is fresh to the Premier League. Like, we don't know what he's going to do. Whether he's going to be like we're all talking about, he's going to be like phenomenal, especially at a young age he is. We just don't know. It's very unknown territory, unlike Son, who knows the Premier League. He's proven that he can perform as well as Salah level.
Well, obviously he did share the golden boot with Salah last season, which was a big achievement. And I think Son's going to have another good season, honestly. It's just hard to fit them all in, but we will make our draft, obviously. We hope the game launches tomorrow, so we can finally start building our team, because I'm just done with these price rules now, like waiting for Nottingham Forest and stuff to drop, and they drop like 5 players. So hopefully, But the other topic that is quite big, and a lot of us were anticipating, is Perisic. Now he is priced at 5.5 million and also classified as a defender, which is good for us because that helps my bigger the back agenda that I've been pushing throughout the couple of weeks. I think 5 at the back, 4 at the back. I think it's going to be very popular. Perisic, if he gets game time, which I think he will, because Conte doesn't really rotate much, does he, in the league? And I know they're in the Champions League, so he'll have to rotate more. But Conte is one of those managers that just plays. He likes to have a settled 11. And if Perisic gets in, I think he'll play most of the games. I've seen talk about Conte potentially chopping and changing, rotation. But I don't believe so, because I know last season with Reguilon, Sessegnon, and Emerson Royale, they don't really have any great fullbacks, and even Doherty he picked up a bit of form. But I think let's read this comment out. This is what I'm talking about. Perisic minutes on the pitch, not sure. The thing with Perisic is, I think he'll play. If he's fit, I think he starts every game. The minutes, I understand he could get subbed off early, but that's the risk I think you take. Obviously, he's 34 now, but from what I've watched of him, obviously I haven't watched much of him, but from what I've heard and I've watched bits of him, he's very fit for his age, pretty much. So he's a good signing, and I do rate him a lot. and I want to see what he does in that Conte system. And I believe he will be key to any success Spurs have next season. I think he's a big player, but we'll have to wait and see. I think at 5.5 million, Perisic, he probably comes into my team. What do you reckon about Perisic, the price, Jordan? And is he someone that you'll consider?
Yeah, it's definitely someone I consider. Let's not forget Conte has worked under Perisic before previously in football. So there is that manager to player relationship still there. And that's probably why he wanted Perisic to be in this team, because he wants to build around to have a strong and constructed defence as well. So yeah, definitely Perisic, 5.5 as well. Cheaper than Chilwell and James, let's not forget as well, 0.5 million cheaper. So that could potentially save you a bit more budget if you bring in a Spurs defender rather than a Chelsea defender as well. Or if you buy a Chelsea defender, not have two, then you can opt for Perisic.
Brian says he's been playing under Conte before Perisic. Yeah, exactly. Jordan just mentioned he was vital in that title-winning season, Perisic, I believe. So yeah, he's a key player for when Conte had him at Inter, and I think he could have a similar impact because if we're being honest, Spurs wing backs did kind of flatter to deceive last season, and they've upgraded with him and Spence. The Jed Spence is joining as well at right back, and he's a decent player as well. But other than that, Son, we spoke about him, Kane. Whether you go either way, I think Kane is probably more attractive as an FPL option just because he's 0.5 cheaper. Perisic looks attractive to me. Kulusevski is the other big one. 8 million. Are you surprised?
Not too surprised, to be fair. I guess he's on the level of Saka and Mason Mount and all those 8 million midfielders. It seems to be a trend at the moment of 8 million midfielders going around of that sort of level. And I think because of that, FPL have made it really tricky now to have, let's say, have Mount or Maddison, Saka, all these team players in your
Foden.
And Diaz and Foden as well. It's going to be very limited to fit 2 at the most or 3 of those players in your team because they're all rated at 8 million now. So it's made it much trickier to choose which one you really want because you have to be really picky with the midfielders at 8 mil now. But with Kulusevski 8 mil, I'm fair with that price, I guess. So from his previous price.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, I'm not surprised he's coming at 8 million because last season he was 7.5. I think he started at 7.5, didn't he? Yeah, and he had a good impact. He got quite a few assists. He chipped in with the odd goal. Yeah, so I'm not surprised to see him at 8 million. Luis Diaz is 8 million as well. So I'll have to keep an eye on Kulusevski. I do like him as a player. I think there is a slight risk of minutes with Richarlison signing, but I don't know. Richarlison doesn't really play on the right, does he? So maybe Kulusevski's safe in that way. But I think it's a good option. It's just fitting him in. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see our game week 1 drafts, guys, if we put him in.
Because sorry, carry on.
Sorry, I was just saying across the board, the other players doesn't stand out as much. Got Doherty at 5 mil, Romero 5 mil. You got Sessegnon at 4.5. Could be a decent cheap option if he gets game time. But with Perisic there, I don't know how much Sessegnon is going to play. Lloris also at 5.5, same as Alisson. Probably going to be the same as Ederson. I would have liked to see him at 5 mil, but it is what it is. And what were you going to say?
Well, this is what I was contemplating. Because of Son being 12 mil, Kulusevski could be a decent replacement for budget-wise because that's saving 4 mil from having Son in your team. So you could opt to go for Kulusevski and have 1 Spurs or maybe 2 Spurs if you want Perisic in defence as well. So having at least 1 or 2 Spurs players, I think, is important in probably the early game fixtures that they have. Because Chelsea is really the only challenging one there, apart from the other 4, which are average or easy.
Yeah, we've got a comment here saying there are so many 8 million midfielders. I'm looking at using 2, Diaz and another. I think I like Diaz and Saka, Arsenal. Foden and Diaz out of those 8 mil buggers. Yeah, Foden's also decent. The only thing with Foden is I want to see what City do. Do they sign another midfielder or not? Because I think Sterling's close to joining Chelsea, I believe. So Man City might buy another midfielder. Obviously, they bought Calvin Phillips, so there's always that rotation risk with Man City, isn't there? But
Yeah, so always a factor.
I think Saka, I might just go with Saka as my 8 million. Saka and Luis Diaz, because I know Saka is going to play every game if he's fit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Arsenal got pretty good fixtures to start with as well.
Yeah. I'll probably go for 2 as well. It's probably Qgvfzs and Diaz.
All right, let's move on to the next team, unless you want to chat anything else about Spurs.
Nah, that's pretty much it. I was a bit annoyed at Lloris not being 5 mil, because that would have been nice. But
yeah. I guess.
It's a bit expected, I guess, for Lloris.
Yep. Also, guys, don't forget to please smash the like button and also subscribe if you're new. Your likes and your comments actually support us and help our YouTube videos be seen more on YouTube. So if you could drop a like, that would be much appreciated. Let's move on now to Leicester City. So looking at Leicester, there are a few interesting prices. We'll come on to them. Obviously, the main three: Maddison, Barnes, and Vardy. Let's chat Maddison. He's another one of those, 8 million midfielders that we spoke about at that price bracket. If you look at their fixtures, though, Brentford, Arsenal, Southampton, Chelsea, Man United, I'm not keen on any Leicester players for that running. What do you make of their fixtures? And quickly talk about Maddison and his price, 8 million.
Well, the fixture-wise, they're against 3 top 5 teams, which isn't great in the first 5 fixtures. Only really Brentford home and Southampton at home are the best ones they have. And Maddison's price, again, is in the 8 mil bracket. So we're assuming you can only pick 2 8 million midfielders, and Maddison's probably not one of them I would pick at the start, because of obviously their fixture run. To begin with, really, you'd only really playing for Brentford and Southampton. I'm not considering you benching him. So, yeah, I'm not too keen on the price of Maddison and the fixtures. So it's not one for me that I'll be looking to get probably later on in the season.
I think with Maddison, 8 million at that price bracket. You've got Foden, you've got Saka, you've got Diaz, you've got who else? There's a lot in it at that price bracket.
Yeah, Mount.
Mount. So it's hard to fit him in, especially with those fixtures. I mean, maybe later down the season, when they've got easier fixtures, if they've got double game weeks, Maddison becomes an option. I think Maddison's the only option really in that midfield. Barnes is decent at 7 mil, a million cheaper. Maybe, like I said, when the fixtures turn green, and if there's double game weeks, we'll probably want to load up on some Leicester. Vardy's an interesting one. He's priced at 9.5. We've got another decrease in price. Now, usually Vardy at 9.5 million looks like a good price for him, but I don't know how much more Vardy has left in the tank. Obviously, he is getting on a bit now, but obviously he's still a good striker. He's at an awkward price, isn't he? 9.5 mil. How are you going to fit him in?
Yeah, that is a tough
If you
one.
want Haaland, then it's kind of hard to fit him in. That's the thing I was going to say. It's very hard to fit. Sorry about that. Someone just give me a call. With Vardy, he's at an awkward price point.
Yeah, very awkward.
So I just think he's not a realistic player. But yeah, sorry about that. I just turned my phone on silent. The other player that I was going to talk about is the main three: Maddison, Vardy, and Barnes. And the other guys, are you interested in any of their 4.5 million defenders? Because we have to speak about this. We have to speak about the Leicester defense, because last season they struggled a lot. They were conceding goals for fun pretty much. They started off the season very bad, and then they picked up form. I know, guys, they had a lot of injuries. So do you kind of give them that leeway that they had injuries and stuff, or do you think defensively Leicester aren't the team to target?
Yeah, I think they're definitely not the team to target. At the moment, I think it's more of a see and wait issue, I think, for Leicester, just to see how they bounce back from their previous efforts, because I think defensively they were bad, and we don't want to jump into a bad defensive team without knowing how well they actually are at the back. So yeah, it's probably one to keep an eye on in terms of their defense, just to see how they do.
Also, with Leicester, I think I don't think they are a bad defensive team. I do think they'll improve. I don't see them being as bad as they were last season. Surely not. And let's be honest, Fofana missed a lot of games last season. Justin missed a lot of games. Ricardo missed a lot of games. You know, these players will all be back now, so they should be fit and ready to go. So I don't see Leicester being a bad team to have some of their players, but not for the start. If I'm being honest, like, I wouldn't be having any of the Leicester players game week 1. So we've got some comments here from Kobe. Thoughts on Justin or Pereira at only 4.5? They could be great picks. Yeah, I agree. They could be great picks later on the season. I don't know if I'll have them from the game week 1, basically, because, you know, look at their fixtures. They've got Brentford, Arsenal, Southampton, Chelsea, and United. It's quite tough. So I just think we could avoid Leicester. Would you say that's fair? Avoid Leicester from the start?
Yeah, I would avoid Leicester just to see what they can do and what they're capable of, because as we spoke about their defence, it has been great last season. So as a team, we have to see how they bounce back from their last season. Hopefully they're more constructed.
Yeah, hopefully the defence solidifies. And they've got, you know, Dewsbury Hall, 5 million. You know, he was a 4.5 million, wasn't he, last season? You know, they've got Iheanacho, 6.5. If Iheanacho can lay down, you know, a starting spot, you know, if Vardy gets injured, as you know, Vardy doesn't play every game, does he now at his age? Iheanacho could be a decent punt if he could pick up some form. Tielemans, I'm not a fan of him as an FPL option at 6.5. Other than that, I like Justin at 4.5 and Ricardo, if I'm being honest. I think they could be good, cheap options. But as we guys know, also, there is a lot of 4.5 million defenders in FPL this year. A lot of very good ones as well. You know, so obviously you got Johnny at Wolves, you got Tomiyasu, you got quite a few. So there is also a big selection dilemma at 4.5 million mark. So keep an eye on that one as well, guys. We spoke about, you know, Maddison and Barnes. We think maybe they're too expensive compared to their peers at the same price. And Vardy's at an awkward price for me, so I'm not going to rush into that yet.
I do like the price of Barnes, though, being 1 million cheaper than Maddison, because both of them are quite good when they do play. I think it's like a competition, like Reece James and Chilwell, who does better than the other. I think that's the same relationship with Barnes and Maddison, who's going to do better. But with this difference is their prices. Barnes is 1 million cheaper than Maddison, so there is a potential that Barnes could probably return more to Maddison at a cheaper price, which could benefit teams that have him.
Yeah, that's definitely, I agree with that. Barnes and Maddison, 1 million cheaper, it might tempt people towards Barnes instead and save that million. But let's move on to the next team. And we're going to quickly wrap the next teams up, because as you guys probably know, there's not as much debate with these other teams. We've got Palace here. Zaha's at 7 million, which he's always at 7 million. I think that's his 7th consecutive season at 7 mil or something like that. I saw someone say on Twitter. I don't know if that's true or not. So Zaha's a decent option. But one thing, let's get out of the way. Just to completely avoid Palace, I'd say, if you look at the fixtures. Like Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, City, Brentford, that is brutal, pretty much. So
yeah, that.
I don't think we'll be going near Palace. But
no.
There is one player I do like. I know probably not a popular opinion, but Mateta at 5.5, if he gets game time and if he nails down a starting spot and you need a cheap striker, I know a lot of people are talking about Undav at Brighton, but Mateta could be a decent option once Palace get easy fixtures. Now, I'm not saying I'll be bringing him in or anything now, but yeah, that's just my opinion on Palace. They've also got a bunch of cheap defenders. 4.5 Mitchell, Eze's at 5.5 is nice to see. Olise 5.5 as well. Mark Guehi 4.5 as well. So they've got cheap defenders. But the only two players that I think are serious FPL options anyway up front is Zaha and Mateta, and they've not got good fixtures, so I don't think there's much to say about Palace really. We just avoid them until they get good fixtures. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so again, another team that you wait and see after their fixtures become more easier, because Arsenal, then Liverpool, then Villa, but then Man City, that's brutal for a first 5 fixtures for a team. That's going to be a real test for Guaita, especially to not concede many goals.
Never give up. FPL says same here. Cheap defenders and a bit later in the season. Not bad defense last season. Yeah, Patrick Vieira did a brilliant job at Palace. And I do expect him to hopefully kick on, maybe make a couple of signings and go again, but maybe not as an FPL option. FPL River says at least could be interesting at some point. Yeah, we hope so. He does look like an exciting young player. And Kobe says, he just agrees with the River. So yeah, Palace, we like the cheap 4.5 million defenders. I like Mateta myself, but we won't be getting any of them in, pretty much. Let's move on to the next team, and that's another team I'm not really excited about. When the price reveal did drop around 4:00, I wasn't excited about Everton really. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's 8 million. I think he should have been 7.5. Personally, I know he had that good season when he did smash it up in, I think, 2021. But I would have kept him at 7.5. But I understand why he is 8. I just think at that price, you're never going to go for him. Gordon's interesting to see. He's at 5.5. I think he might be the most value for money attacker that Everton have at 5.5, rather than going for like a Calvert-Lewin or, I know Richarlison's left, so yeah, we don't know how Everton are going to react to that. Are they going to sign another player? Because Richarlison was quite a key man for them. It'll be interesting to see how they do in his absence. Gordon could be decent in that left-hand side. He's probably going to play there, I think, most games. He looks decent for them. But, yeah, there's not much interest in. Got a lot of DCL, 8 million, overpriced. Yeah, I agree. I would have put him at least 7.5. Mikalenko is my only option here.
I was thinking
Mikalenko, 4.5. They've got quite a few defenders. Coleman, Tarkowski. Obviously, the new signing, Tarkowski, he's a decent player. Could be good for Everton. Gray at 5.5 if he gets game time. I know last season he got chipped in with a few goals. Pickford, nice to see him at 4.5 at least, I think. I think Pickford at 4.5 is decent, even though I don't really want an Everton goalie, right? But the fixtures aren't too bad, if we're being honest. They play Chelsea game week 1, Villa, Forest, Brentford, Leeds. It's not too bad. If they make a couple of signings, would you be tempted with anyone, Jordan? Or maybe later on the season? Does anyone interest you?
I would have liked Calvert-Lewin, but with 8 mil, that's expensive for him. I mean, the only reason why I think he's expensive is because of Richarlison leaving. That probably gives him more of a attacking threat for Everton, like the replacement for him. I understand why his price is that, but again, it's one of those. Do you go for it now, or do you wait and see? That's the thing. Because if you catch on to it early and it goes well, then it will pay off. But if it don't, then it could cost you a lot. Because it is Everton as well. They did almost get relegated last season. Let's not forget.
Yeah, I think now Calvert-Lewin is the main man, per se. Maybe they rely on him for goals more. Maybe they're set up in a way to play towards Calvert-Lewin's strengths. So maybe he could become a decent option because now they don't spread the goals as much. Maybe he's just the main man. So we'll have to wait and see. But Everton, decent fixtures. It's just at that price point, at 8 million, Calvert-Lewin, there's other better options, I say. And in midfield, Gordon's 5.5, but there's a Pedro Neto at Wolves who's 5.5. So I don't know. And plus, Wolves probably have better fixtures. So, yeah, that's our views on Everton. Could be decent options later down the line as well. As we've mentioned with a lot of these teams, I just think for game week 1 they're a no-go, but later down the line they might be decent when we want to break up the template a bit more. Moving on to Nottingham. There you go. Nottingham Forest, not much players. And yep, guys, that's the end of the video. I'm joking. Now we've got to speak about Nottingham. Now I'm not disrespecting Nottingham, but oddly enough, there was only like 6 players.
6? Yeah, I thought it was a typo or a glitch. I saw that. Where's the other 4 players on that list?
Yeah, so let's quickly cover Nottingham because, their fixtures aren't great either. Newcastle, West Ham, Everton, Spurs, and City back to back. So we'll be avoiding Nottingham. But the main players, obviously, to see them at price at 6 million, I'm a bit disappointed. If I'm being honest, I would have liked to see them at 5.5, because who's realistically going to go for Nottingham players? Like, give us an incentive to go for these players. Like Awoniyi, I think that's how you say his name. He's at 6 million. Why would you go for Awoniyi when you can go for Mateta at 5.5 or Undav at 5.5? And then again, I guess that the way they price it is that they are their talisman, if that makes sense. So Awoniyi is the main man at Forest. So big summer signing, I think 17 million. So maybe they thought, you know what, we'll give this guy 6 million. But I don't know about that one. I would have made him like 5.5, maybe even 5. But I don't know. Let us know in the chat, guys, what you think. And also, guys, never give up. FPL says hit the like button, folks. Yeah, guys, if you could please smash the like button and also share this on your socials, on your Twitter, on your Instagram. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new. We very much appreciate it. If you could do that, please, that would be very helpful. But FPL River, that's the other one. He says was interested in Brennan Johnson, but not at 6 mil. Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
Johnson,
I agree.
6 million. What do you reckon? What would you like to see him priced at?
At least 5 million.
Yeah,
like
5.
5.5
I think,
or 5 mil, not 6.
Yeah, I think these newly promoted sides, you know what it is? Because they've made a lot of players cheap, in this year, it's very hard for us to go for these newly promoted players, because for another million, you can get like a top 6 player, you know what I mean? So rather than getting, I don't know, who've they got in midfield? Like, or even Johnson, rather than going Johnson, pay $1 million more, and you can get someone like even Tony in mid-table with Brentford last season. So I don't know how much value there is. I just think they should have been cheaper. But I do like Johnson as a player. I know he's got a lot of talent, and he's one to watch out for. Awoniyi is another one. I know of him because of Liverpool. He used to play for Liverpool, and he ended up going to the Union Berlin in Germany, and he done decent there. And now we've got a big move to Nottingham. So, and other than that, if I'm being honest with the rest of their players, 4.5 million defender, I don't think no one's going to go for him. Surridge at 5 million, maybe cheap bench option. But all in all, nothing really to shout home about with Forest. I mean, there's only 6 players. Could be options depending how they start. Never know. Yeah, obviously, you never want to write a team off. So there will be one to keep an eye on. Awoniyi and Johnson could be decent options. It's just at that price, I would have liked to see them priced cheaper, because they are a promoted team, to be fair. But yeah, I'm not surprised at 6 million. It's just they are their talisman, so they had to probably be 6 million. Never give up says saw earlier today that someone thought Sturridge was Sturridge. Sturridge was a great player for Liverpool though. But he's in America now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Leo is good. Welcome to the chat, mate. He says some random person told the rest of the Forest prices were released later in the month. This means the game would launch then. Hope this guy was just trying trolling and the game launched. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think FPL would tease Forest's prices anyway. Like, Forest aren't the team you'd want to do that with. I don't think. Maybe if it was a City or a Liverpool. But when do you think let's have a quick chat before we wrap the stream up. When do you reckon the game drops now? Do you think it drops tomorrow? Do you think today? Nah, I doubt today.
No, I don't think today. I think it will drop tomorrow because they have sorted out the FPL website. You can now log in and reset your thing and set up your security on your account. So they are definitely in the finishing stages of releasing it. I'll say probably tomorrow would be when they do. Just depends maybe when.
FPL River says launch tomorrow. Never Give Up says Wednesday. I'm gonna go for tomorrow. Let's hope for tomorrow. That's my bet anyway. That's what I think's gonna happen. But we'll have to wait and see. Guys, thank you everyone that's joined the stream today. Obviously, it was a spontaneous late one. We didn't really put a link up on Twitter that we normally do. So thanks for everyone that has joined. Thanks for everyone that's commented on the chat and interacted with us. It's been a good stream. Also, don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And we will be back again. The game's so close away now, you can smell it. And we'll be back, guys, building our Game Week 1 draft. So you have to turn your notice on to see what we do. And yeah, guys, don't forget, we're going to be back again this week sometime, as always, making content for you. So yeah, we'll be back. Never Give Up. So thanks, guys. Nice work, fellas. Thank you to you, FPL River, Kobe. Thank you, guys. We appreciate the love, man. We've got a lot of content to drop over the summer. So yeah, Chief says we all appreciate the dedication. Us, yeah, yeah. Thank you for that comment. So yeah, that's it from us, guys. That's it from the FPL Duo. And yeah, hope you guys had a good weekend and everything. And yeah, guys, let's just get the game launched now. Let's build our teams. And yeah, let's debate who to have, who to leave out. So that's it from us today. Take it easy, guys. And we hope to see you guys soon. Peace.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon.
Take it easy, guys.